What's going on, YouTube? We have reached the final part in our Sanqui Johto series with Typhlosion. Feraligatr and Meganium posted amazing times, but I don't believe Typhlosion will come close to what the times they posted. In fact, I'm unsure if it's going to do better than Charizard. If we look at its stats, it's the least bulky of the three, like Charizard with the Kanto starters. However, its 109 base special for Gen 1 purposes and 100 base speed are great. Unfortunately, Typhlosion doesn't have access to a move like Thunder Punch like it does in Johto. Another thing with Typhlosion as to why I don't think it will come close to the time as the other two, of all the ROMs I've generated seeing what starters I can get, I got Typhlosion as a starter twice, and the rival either picked Charmander or Squirtle. And I figured Charmander, while it's a neutral matchup, is much easier and probably a better matchup than going against Squirtle. So we don't have the luxury of our rival picking the type disadvantage starter. As for other disadvantages, well, we'll get to them once we come to it. Unlike with Meganium and Feraligatr, we won't be doing minimum battles. I'm going to be taking on every bug catcher in Viridian Forest, and the Junior Light Years trainer in Brock's gym. And while we battle the Junior Light Years trainer in the background here, you'll see that I have Double Edge on my starting moveset, and I just want to go over the level up moves Typhlosion can learn really quick. They're displayed on the screen now, and you're probably wondering why I didn't show you this along with the TMs. And that'll come in due time because I don't want to spoil anything for later in the video. Anyways, after we make quick work of the Junior Light Years trainer, I decide why not and try my luck against Brock. Now the first thing I'm going to do in this battle is try to set up 2 smoke screens on Geodude. And that way, it can't hit me with Tackle too much. After I set up 2, I start going for Ember, and Ember is doing a decent amount of damage. I even get a lucky burn and crit, and we eventually knock out the Geodude. But next is Onix, and Onix is a lot more difficult. As you see, it knows Rock Throw, which brings us down to 5 HP. But I continue to pound it with Smoke Screens and Leers before I start going on the offensive with Ember. We get lucky and it keeps missing its attacks before it hits us with Rage to bring us to 2 HP, but Onix keeps missing and we get the clutch win. And Double Edge is going to leave our moveset. Now after beating Brock, making our way to Route 3, I'm going to take on all the trainers here, and 2 key trainers in Mount Moon, aside from the mandatory ones, that being the Bug Catcher and the last with the Oddish and the Bellsprout. And that's because I actually had to restart the run because my data somehow got corrupted, and yeah. Rival 2 I was severely underleveled. I also didn't pick up Mega Punch before it, which I do here. Leaving Mount Moon, we're at 34 minutes, and by all means, Typhlosion is making great time so far. But my opinion of it hasn't changed. I still think it's going to finish the worst, and we're going to take on Rival 2 now. At level 20, Mega Punch is doing some good damage to Pidgeotto, about half, and a second one knocks it out. We level up, and Abra's next. It can't attack, but of course we miss our first Mega Punch before hitting the second. After that is Rattata, who goes down into 1 Mega Punch, and last is Charmander, who actually knows Dragon Rage, but it doesn't use it here, and we make quick work with Mega Punch and Quick Attack. Now, just like in the Meganium run, I had to go back and heal, which was really annoying. And this Hiker actually gave me problems, because Onix knows Rock Throw, and yeah, it did beat me a few times. And when I had to restart, I had to rebattle the rival. So this battle, I get lucky, Smokescreen makes it to where it doesn't hit me, and Ember does decent enough damage and we can knock it out. After going through the route and getting to Bill's house, I'm going to try and take on Misty, which I'm not going to teach Dig just yet. Mega Punch can't knock out Staryu, Water Gun does decent damage, and Starmie, it knows Hydro Pump in the Sanqui ROM, which it uses here and knocks me out. And I'm gonna try again. I think Typhlosion could do it on its second try. I mean, Charizard needed a few tries for Misty, so it makes sense. Once again, I go for Mega Punch. We don't get the range on Staryu, and then we miss Ember, so yeah, it's really bad now. Once Starmie comes out, I just go for Smokescreen, but it hits us with Water Gun and knocks us out. So I'm gonna skip Misty for now, head to the SSN, and we're going to pick up TM08 Body Slam, which Typhlosion can learn. And I'm also going to put Dig on our moveset. We're going to replace Mega Punch, it's no longer needed, and we can take on Rival 3. And yeah, Rival 3, as usual, is pretty easy. Body Slam almost knocks out Pidgeotto. It hits us with that Sand Attack, which is unfortunate. Raticate is next. It hits Quick Attack, but Body Slam knocks it out in one shot. Kadabra's next. It's really frail. Body Slam knocks it out. And for Charmeleon, we have Dig, which one-shots it. So with all these extra levels and our moveset improved, let's try Misty one more time. Well, we have to beat her in order to advance in the game because you need the Cascade badge to use Cut. I go for Body Slam on Staryu. The crit maybe mattered, but we one-shot it. Body Slam gets a crit on Starmie. We tank a Hydro Pump with 10 HP left and finally get by. Instead of backtracking to Vermilion, I'm going to go ahead and go through Rock Tunnel, where I have to show off the battle with the self-destructing Hiker, but we have Dig on our moveset. The two Geodudes are really no match for it. I thought Graveler would be a problem, but per usual, Dig is just a one-shot. And when we exit Rock Tunnel, we're at 1 hour and 22 minutes. Typhlosion by all means is making great time. I mean, I'd have to go back and check the Charizard video, but I think he was ahead of Charizard. So from here, we're going to go to Celadon, because I want to do some shopping. Namely, I want to get the freshwater, but I also want to get the Soda Pop, because we can get TM48 Rock Slide, which yes, Typhlosion can learn it. After getting Rock Slide, I battle all the trainers in Erica's gym, and I'm going to take on Erica. And I think all the extra levels from battling the trainers in her gym are going to pay off in the long run. Against Victory Bell, I go for Dig. It's not a one-shot. It does 14 HP to me, and we knock it out with Ember. Next is Tangela. I go for Ember, and we one-shot it. Alright. Vileplume's last. Ember's not quite enough to one-shot it, but it just goes for Poison Powder. And yeah, 3 gym badges down. From there, we can head to the Rocket Game Corner, and we're going to take on Giovanni next, who, per usual, is very easy. We are 10 levels higher than Onix, and I don't bother healing before this battle. Dig one-shots it. Rhyhorn's next, and we're over-leveled against it as well. Dig one-shots it as well. Against Kangaskhan, I go for Body Slam. It uses Tail Whip, another Body Slam, now Bite, and we knock it out. Alright. So now that we can get the Sylph Scope in hand, I could go battle Rival 4, but I want to take on Surge first, because I want to be able to use Fly outside of battle. And yeah, we're 11 levels higher than Surge's highest level Pokemon. This is a pretty easy battle. We one-shot Voltorb with Dig. I really should have just used Body Slam on it like I did with Pikachu here. I Body Slam Raichu. We don't knock it out, but it doesn't attack us. We knock it out over 2 turns. With Surge out of the way, now we can take on Rival 4, and yeah, this battle is pretty easy. Body Slam crits and one-shots Pidgeotto, that's always nice to see. Ember makes quick work of Execute. Gyarados, I'm a little worried about. Body Slam does about 3/4, its Bite is pretty weak, we knock it out. Kadabra, Body Slam, we'll one-shot it. And Charmeleon's last, and Body Slam one-shots it as well. So remember earlier when I didn't show you the TMs that Typhlosion could learn? Well, I'm gonna show you now. Notice anything? It can't learn Swords Dance. So the huge advantage that Feraligatr and Meganium had, Typhlosion does not have. But we still have a way to badge boost, and that's with Defense Curl. After setting up some badge boosts, I go for Rock Slide and knock out Pidgeot, but we level up afterwards, so all the badge boosts are gone. Execute is still one-shot with Ember, and Gyarados barely hangs on from a Rock Slide. Luckily, its retaliation is with Bite and not Hydro Pump. Rock Slide does half to Alakazam, which is really surprising. We knock it out next turn, and Charizard is 4 times weak to Rock Slide. Get out of here. Rival 5, pretty easy, but this rocket outside of Giovanni's chamber gave me some trouble. This Cubone still knows Bone Club, and I get lucky as it goes for Rage. And the final Pokemon, Marowak, has both Bone Club and Bone Meringue. Luckily, I didn't get hit with either or any ground moves in this battle. But there was a time where I did lose this battle, and I had to redo Rival 5, and that sucked. I get lucky in this battle. Ember knocks out Marowak thanks to a second one being a critical hit, and we can move on. We're going to save our game because we don't want to rebattle any trainers, and we'll take on Giovanni once again. Nidorino is the lead, and I'm gonna go for Dig, and I expect it to be a one-shot, and it is. Awesome. We level up, which is perfect, because against Kangaskhan, I'm gonna start setting up Defense Curl for some badge boosts, and just to better our defenses. Ember's not doing too much damage to it, and now the rage damage is starting to pile on some. Thankfully, 2 Rock Slides take it out. Against Rhyhorn, I'm gonna go for Dig, and Dig is able to one-shot it. Last is Nidoqueen, and hopefully Dig is a one-shot, and it is. Awesome. After being Giovanni, we can go to floor 10 of Silph Co, and we can get the Carbos, we can get the rare candy, but namely TM26 Earthquake. Now you might think I was gonna go battle Sabrina next, but I'm gonna go through Cycling Road to take on Koga. And this battle's pretty easy. Earthquake is just a one-shot sweep of all of his Pokemon. So after defeating Koga, we make our way through the Safari Zone, so we can get the final HMs of the run. We're gonna head south of Pallet and surf down to Cinnabar Island, go through the Pokemon Mansion, and then we're gonna take on the Quizmaster Blaine himself, who, just like Koga, all of his Pokemon are a one-shot sweep with Earthquake. Pretty easy. And after Blaine, we can take on Sabrina, and with all the extra levels, she's really no problem either. Kadabra is the lead, and I expect Earthquake to pretty much be a one-shot sweep of all of her team as well. It starts out well by one-shotting Kadabra. Mr. Mime barely holds on, which surprises me, but a second Earthquake crits and knocks it out. Venomoth, I switch to Rock Slide, get the hell out of here, Sanqui Venomoth. And Alakazam, I go for Earthquake, it hangs on, disables Rock Slide, but a second Earthquake knocks it out. And the only gym leader left is Giovanni, who, just like with Blaine and Koga, his team is a one-shot sweep with Earthquake. Except for Dugtrio. I use Flamethrower on it, but we can move ahead to Rival 6. And really, I should have sped up the first half of this battle because, well, it's really nothing. Pidgeot goes down in 1 Rock Slide, the crit didn't matter. Rhyhorn is gonna go down in 1 Earthquake. And next is Execute, and we have Flamethrower, and if Ember was one-shotting it, Flamethrower will. But Gyarados, like with the past battles, holds on from a Rock Slide and hits us with Hydro Pump that brings us to 31 HP. We finish it with Flamethrower. Alakazam barely holds on from an Earthquake and it starts to spam recover. Thankfully we get a crit and knock it out. And Charizard, 4 times weak to Rock Slide, we win, and we can forward to outside of Lorelei's chamber, 3 hours 8 minutes. By all means, Typhlosion's making great time, and it's probably going to beat Charizard's time, but let's see how it does against the League. We know that Lorelei leads with Dugong, and we have Rock Slide on our moveset. The question is, how much will it do? Not all of Dugong's HP, but Retroactive Super Potion, we can finish it with Flamethrower. Cloyster, it has worse special than it does defense, Flamethrower takes it out, but Slowbro is the gauntlet here. Our attacks aren't doing much damage to it, and Sanqui Slowbro has Water Pulse, which is immensely more powerful than Water Gun, and 2 of them takes me out. So the easy fix? Just use some rare candies, and I have 10 that I can use. And now, Rock Slide will one-shot Dugong, so that's wonderful. Cloyster, it was a one-shot with Flamethrower now, it's still a one-shot with Flamethrower, there's nothing changed there. But Slowbro, I try Flamethrower, it does about a quarter. Water Pulse, still doing just under half. Earthquake, not doing too much more, but since it goes for withdraw, I switch to Flamethrower and we get a crit to knock it out. Jinx is next, and Flamethrower takes it out in one shot. All that's left is Lapras. How much will Rock Slide do to it? Almost all of its HP, Retroactive Super Potion, and we can finish it with a Flamethrower. So, Lorelei on the second try, not bad. And next is Bruno, who is pretty much a gimme for any Pokemon. We one-shot sweep his whole team with Earthquake and Flamethrower, except for Machamp. Machamp hangs on from a Flamethrower, it goes for Low Kick, does about 30 HP, and we knock it out. And next up we have Agatha, where in past runs, if you've seen them, as long as you have a Ground-type move or a Psychic-type move on your moveset, she's pretty much a gimme, and that's no different here. Earthquake one-shot sweeps her entire team with the exception of Golbat, which I go for Flamethrower on. I should've just went for Rock Slide. Once I saw it had Poison Fang, I just wanted to knock it out as quick as possible. But now is the true test of the League. Lance. And Lance's Gyarados knows Hydro Pump, which gives all fire Pokemon a problem. How will Typhlosion do? Well, the battle starts in the worst possible way. We miss our opening Rock Slide and get hit by Hydro Pump that does over 3/4 of our HP. We go for Rock Slide, which hits, and it knocks out Gyarados, so that's a good sign. Dragonair, however, hangs on from Earthquake, and it manages to paralyze us. It can then go first, hits us with Dragon Rage. We have 2 HP left for the remaining 3 Pokemon. It goes for Agility, and then Dragon Rage to finish us. We make it back to Lance on the next try, but the battle starts out the exact same as the first one. We're going to miss our opening Rock Slide, and then Gyarados' Hydro Pump takes us down to only about 1/4 of our HP remaining. But we hit our next Rock Slide and knock out Gyarados, so I guess that's a good sign is that we can consistently one-shot it. I tried a Badge Boost on the first Dragonair, but it can still hang on from an Earthquake, goes for Thunder Wave, and then Dragon Rage knocks me out. So we make it back to Lance on the next attempt, and if Rock Slide misses again, this run is cursed. We hit Rock Slide, and it one-shots Gyarados, so full HP going into the first Dragonair. That's lovely. Earthquake once again doesn't one-shot it, and it paralyzes us with Thunder Wave, and then hits us with Dragon Rage. We get through Paralysis and knock it out. Crit didn't matter. The second Dragonair goes for Agility even though it already outspeeds. We can't knock it out with Earthquake, it hits us with Dragon Rage, and we knock it out the next turn. Aerodactyl might be a problem though. Agility, fully paralyzed. Crunch, fully paralyzed. Takedown miss, and a Rock Slide hit, and we knock it out. So we've made it to Dragonite. It goes for Barrier, Rock Slide hits, crits, and knocks it out. So Lance, as long as you can knock out Gyarados and not get hit by Hydro Pump, pretty easy. But how will the champion be? Our moveset has coverage for pretty much all of his Pokemon, so I feel pretty good. Well, let's just get right into the battle. Pidgeot is the lead, and after the Meganium video where this thing was just a big wall, it feels good to just one-shot it with Rock Slide. Alakazam is next. I'm gonna go for Earthquake. It hangs on and hits us with Psybeam. Psybeam crits and does pretty good damage. We knock it out the next turn with Flamethrower. Rhydon is next, and this thing knows Rock Blast in the Sanqui ROMs, so we can't set up against it like in other ROMs. And Earthquake doesn't one-shot it, and it also has Bulldoze, which I did not know. And Bulldoze knocks us out. Great. So a few tries later, we make it back to the champion. And I think this time, I'm gonna set up on Pidgeot. Probably the safest Pokemon to do so. I start going for Defense Curls, it starts using Wing Attack a few times. After the third Defense Curl, it starts to glow for Sky Attack, we don't miss Rock Slide, and we knock out. Had Sky Attack hit, probably would've did some big damage. Alakazam is next, and now with our Badge Boosted Earthquake, we one-shot it. Alright, now the question is, how much will Earthquake do to Rhydon with our Badge Boost glitch? Critical hit, doesn't really matter, 3 down. Executor, we have Flamethrower for it. It's gonna go down in 1 hit, also crit. Gyarados, we can't miss Rock Slide, we don't, we knock it out. But the problem is, we level up. But we still outspeed Charizard, and it's 4 times weak to Rock Slide. We knock it out, and Typhlosion has done it. And with that win, our mini-series has come to an end. I had high hopes for Typhlosion. It performed better than expected considering the other 2 starters had the luxury of facing the starter they had a type advantage over. As far as Typhlosion's final line, level 67, with the final in-game time of 3 hours and 27 minutes. It ties the same level as Magmar, but beats Magmar's time by nearly an hour and a half and Charizard by 8 minutes. For now, I'm gonna put it at the bottom of the A tier. And I know there's some Pokemon on the tier list you see and you're wondering when those videos are gonna come. They're coming in due time. One of them, I'm giving them a redo, which will be a first for the channel. And we've got another mini-series starting up for the month of April. I want to revisit my very first challenge run, and to see how the other 2 competitors would do against this Pokemon. Anyways, thank you for the continued support on the channel. If you've made it this far and you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing as it helps me out. Also be sure to like the video and leave me a comment for the YouTube algorithm. And I've got plenty of Let's Plays on the channel if you're into some retro gaming. Until then, I'll catch you in the next video. Take care, everybody.